Arias, Narky McCarthy here to wrap up the current year and bring in the new year, along with Dispute. Say hello, Shay. Considering dogs are usual aversion to fireworks, it's pretty impressive that she's just asleep, unless the fright made her pass out. So yeah, it's just routine at this point, what we're doing, and that contract thing, well, seems that I'm stuck with it for the rest of my life, unless I can find an actual excuse to not do it. But who the hell knows? It would have been nice to wrap up 2021 on at least a decent note, and then, of course, Betty White had to tragically pass away. I know it was not within her control, but could reality for once not be a dick? Is it seriously that much too much to ask for in that regard? It would have been nice for her to at least make it to 100. But it is impressive that she lived as long as she did and kept working until the end. And with that, I salute you, Mrs. White, and may you rest in peace, and may your legacy continue to live on. Actually, speaking of Betty White and her career, at least, I actually have been watching a bit of the Golden Girls about I think like around. I mean, I've always had been on and off since I think 2020 actually, and uh, around last month I actually started watching random episodes on Hulu. I will eventually start watching it in airing order because that's how I usually work or how I usually roll because it's not technically a job unless I can get paid for it, but that's a discussion of our time. And that show honestly had some good, and the episodes I watched, funny, especially Still Getty, of course, and everything else in between. I mean, I mean, there's a reason it's considered one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. It built off of the foundation or the standards set by Norman Lear with All in the Family, offering this more real, offering a more down to earth and a more progressive view of the world presented through the sitcom format. And it was fantastic stuff as usual. Does suck though that this is how a lot of us how a lot of us, at least first world people, have to stomach with the end of the year. And that's on top of the crap that is, of course, the usual stuff: politics, mainstream news, COVID-19 at this point. Hopefully this year, hopefully 2022, or maybe even 2023 will be the official end of the pandemic, one way or another. But it does seem the blow is being is but it seems that the blow in some ways is being lessened, which is nice. Or at least it kind of was. There is that Delta variant, of course. But who knows? But hey, 74% of the country, the United States, is has at least one vaccination. I think around 69% are fully vaccinated, which is nice. And so that's a step in the right direction. Yeah, there isn't much else to say. And as for politics, well, 2021 in one way or another is going to be one of the most important years of my life because it helped me realize more about myself than previous years. And of course, for those who don't know, though I find it hard to believe, especially if you watch my Twitter, I'm officially now a socialist. I have left the Libertarian Party behind, unless, of course, there is a Libertarian Socialist faction of that party, which I don't know. I haven't really found any. I haven't done enough research on that yet, so who knows? So if so, then it'd be that I would have left the entire Libertarian Party with the exclusion of their Libertarian Socialist faction. Kind of like how there is, well, even too bad the progressive faction of the Democratic Party is kind of losing its grasp on me, which really sucks. But who knows? Maybe they could actually develop a backbone for once. So yeah, I really just left them behind. I'm officially Green Party, and if not, then Transhumanist Party. Party for Socialism and Liberation, Socialist Party, Peace and Freedom Party, Communist Party. I'm trying to think of another party. Oh, Socialist Independent, and as and as a last resort of them all, American Solidarity Party, because there are at least some positions I stand by, at least they're fiscal ones, because of how they would put it, fiscally center left, and socially they are center right, which isn't a bad thing at all, but obviously it's not 100% a fit for me, you know. And hey, this is the most active my channel has been since 2018. I think. Am I wrong about that? Phil's wondering about that series. Now and then, I am planning to make a video involving what happens from now because I've actually graduated from college, finally, a semester late actually, and kind of going into it. But I am planning to continue that series in some way, shape, or form because honestly, it is a pretty fun idea. Though honestly, I do wonder if I should. And I guess at this point, it's just too late to really migrate it to another channel. I know I can upload it to another channel, but I think I'll just focus on what I have now because that channel barely exists at this point. It'd be best to kind of regenerate it rather than just rather than just move on to another one already. I mean, I thought of ideas for backup channels. I mean, John Carl already has like 3 of them. He, of course, left behind Nostalgic Millennial, understandably so. He has Crazy Stupid Media, which hasn't been very active because of course, I mean, he has a job, so does his dad, so it's not that easy. And of course, the guys and I are just always busy one way or another. So it's just not as straightforward as we wish it could be. And as for the new one, Neurokino, who knows? There just isn't really much else to really just, I don't know what lies for that channel, but who knows? Maybe there's a bit more activity going on now that many of us have officially been out of college, or I'm officially out of college, and John Carl might officially be out within the next 1 to 1.5 years, I think. But who the hell knows? And hey, I also got to wrap up. But hey, at least there's some element of 2021 that will end bittersweet for me because I actually saw Spider-Man: No Way Home. And spoilers, even though this really wasn't a spoiler to me, it's like one of the worst secrets in existence, as far as I'm concerned. It was extremely bittersweet seeing Tobey Maguire again. And hey, still got it one way or another. Then again, so does Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Thomas Hayden Church, even if it was just motion capture, even if it was just CGI in his voice, because I guess they just couldn't get him. Though they did a pretty decent job reincorporating reused footage from Spider-Man 3. And I didn't cry like some people probably did, but I definitely teared up seeing those guys again, and also, of course, hearing Danny Elfman's music cues repurposed, which was nice. Well, I'm sure though I am extremely excited for Matt Reeves as the Batman. I mean, it's Matt Reeves. I just can't turn that guy down at this point. He's somebody that I have grabbed onto and can't let go of. Enjoy that. Have fun with that, out of context fans. Yeah. And the day before that, okay, yesterday, I finally got G5 out of the way. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, though I doubt it, My Little Pony New Generation, and I'll tell you, G5 is off to a pretty solid start. I still have my personal issues with Vanessa Hudgens, of course, but hey, we got ourselves a start in the right direction. Well, but hey, I'd say this New Generation's off to a decent start, and also Izzy is just adorable. If I wasn't such a goddamn cynic, she would probably be my spirit animal. But however, there probably is another version of me within another universe that is like that, and officially can declare her spirit animal. I just wish I was that lucky. Though I have been listening to the soundtrack a lot, and for those asking, I as of this moment, I do think it's better than the G4 film, though it does share a similar issue with the G4 film. The pacing's too fucking fast. Seriously, calm the. I don't understand. Like, what is it illegal within mainstream Hollywood animation to make an animated film that is under an hour that is over an hour and a half? Spider-Verse was a huge success. It was an hour 50. It was amazing. So I don't understand what the fucking issue is. I really don't. I really don't. Do I have any positive prospects for 2022? More or less the same. Especially with the midterm elections coming up. For those asking, unless they can kick it into high gear and get some last minute successes, the Democrats are losing their majority. Sorry. And look, and I feel like now third parties more than ever really need to prioritize and really push forward on local and state elections. I mean, obviously, prioritizing should be local, state, national. I mean, obviously. I mean, it's not saying they don't do that, of course. I mean, we have tons of third parties and independents at the local level in the United States. We gotta start pushing for some. Of course, we gotta get instant runoff voting or approval voting, whichever one. Just any non-plurality voting at this point. I'm desperate for it at this point. Or I wish I had a dictionary. I really wish I did, a physical one. I don't know. I mean, I know we live in the digital age, but you get the idea. But hey, at least I'm making more progress in Bloodborne. That electric boss I finally killed. That motherfucker was a huge pain in my ass. And admittedly, I did manage to kill him by, of course, knocking him down a couple times on the legs. That wasn't intentional, but I did. And after being such a pushover, I managed to slaughter him, thankfully, and move on with the rest of my life. Now I just need to get the Shadows of Yharnam taken care of. Wait, are those the Shadows of Yharnam? I'll tell you, I suck fighting those guys, and I've literally been spamming areas of the game trying to, basically building up my blood echoes. And currently, from what I can remember, I'm level 79. And I'm coming up, I think it's been almost 1.5 years since I started playing the game. I never played consistently, of course, because of school. I never took my PS4 with me. It's just I never really I never got to focus full time on that, which of course was the better idea because school comes first. And yeah, I'm currently searching for jobs at the moment, so I still have enough time to do that. And who knows? Maybe I have the occasional weekend off, so I can still focus on focus on the Shadows of Yharnam again, and try and finally beat those fuckers. The best I've been able to do so far is take out the one with the flamethrower. With the fire magic attacks. Because obviously I watched I can't remember who did that ranking video, but I definitely remember. But I of course watched it, and it was nice to be warned that that one shadow loves to let it rain fire on you. So yeah, take care of that shit. Fuck me, man, it's hard. That game is hard. In fact, I think it might be the hardest game I've played in my life, and that says a lot considering I also played Salt and Sanctuary. Still haven't beaten that, and I've also played Celeste. And honestly, Celeste might be the second hardest game I've ever played. Because here's the thing, if it wasn't for if it wasn't for Bloodborne, Celeste would be the hardest game I've ever played. But then again, I guess that would be the case regardless of any FromSoft game I play, whether it's this, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, or the Dark Souls series. I'll tell you, I'm getting no better live streams, aren't I? Yeah. Although I am definitely relieved that Dwayne Johnson isn't giving in to Vin Diesel demands and not coming back to the Fast and Furious franchise. But even then, I think we can all agree that either it should have been left at Furious 7, or maybe they should have pushed a little bit further with Fate of the Furious and have that be the finale. I mean, Vin Diesel said Fate of the Furious was for Paul. One, they didn't flash that. One, they didn't really have that message shown one way or another in that film. Unlike, okay, wait, no, from Paul. Fate of the Furious was from Paul. Furious 7 was for Paul. They showed that text for Furious 7, but not for Furious 8. Or Fate of the Furious, but whatever. All I knew is when I saw that trailer, I knew I made the right decision by backing out. And also when John Cena decided to sell out by, backtracking on his pro-Taiwan pro-democracy for Taiwan statement. Oh boy. I'll tell you, I need a new laptop. Whether it's a Windows whether it's indeed another Apple one, Dell, HP, or one of those custom retailer custom people. It's would help make up for this thing not only overheating on my fucking lap, but also just the fact that this thing's like 4.5 years old now. Phil's asking, what the fuck? Okay, please tell me the truth here. Kicking off the new year is Amityville Karen. We already got a Karen film, dude. It ain't worth it. For those asking what my favorite song of the soundtrack for MLP A New Generation was, surprise, surprise, fit right in. It was my favorite, and it's actually the one I listened to before I watched the film itself. Yes, I held out on that film for for over 3 months. And then, 3.5 months. And then, I did this. Oh, I decided to listen to one of the songs rather than wait until I watched the movie like the G4 film. But I have to say, I do love the soundtrack, and I'm still baffled over the fact that they want to make another Ice Age film, and and it looks like shit. The animation, especially, this looks like it's made for TV. It looks made for TV, and the sadness knows no bounds. I got nothing else to say. But hey, at least there's something's looking up. Armie Hammer is no longer in Taika Waititi's Next Goal Wins. I guess that role was so insubstantial that they were able to reshoot it. Awesome. If only the same could be said for Death on the Nile. Well, at least they got a good replacement. At least they got a good replacement, which is really nice. Ah, it was a cameo, that's why. Good. And hey, now I can officially say I'm excited for it without being hesitant because he's no longer in it. And of course, it's Taika Waititi. And yeah, I can't fucking wait for Thor: Love and Thunder. It would be nice if I was financially comfortable enough to spend money on a Sundance Film Festival ticket, but well, one, I hate flying, and two, I haven't practiced high altitudes yet. Well, practiced tolerating high altitudes yet. Sorry. If there's one thing I wish wasn't existing, the Uncharted movie. Honestly, Uncharted could never work as a live action film. It would have to be animated, whether CG animated, motion capture animated, 2D animated. It'd just be the better choice because those games are way too over the top and insane to be believable in live action. And of course, it wasn't helping that when I saw the trailer and saw um, like Drake just jumping across those crates off the plane like it was not a struggle at all, I had enough. Damn it. But hey, I'm glad to see the Daniels are coming back for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and of course, once again from A24. I need more A24 in my life, and I want to make at least one film with them. And I also want to make my first feature film, well, at least start production on it before I turn 30. So I currently now have 6.5 years left. At least I have I have ideas for features, but they're a little bit very ambitious, so I need to probably start out a bit small. And when it comes to, of course, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, all I need, at the very least, is one trademark Raimi shot. I'm just relieved to see Sam Raimi actually making a feature-length film, and of course one that isn't, basically a segment. And also I'm glad to see Chiwetel Ejiofor coming back, and especially with how well they set him up in the first film. They better follow through on this, because if they don't, I will be so pissed off. Because he has the potential to be one of the best MCU villains to date. And that says a lot considering we have Thanos. Damn. Ego. The Mandarin. I'm struggling to think of others. I'm sad now. Then again, not helping is also the existence of Jurassic World Dominion. Seriously. All we needed was one film, Jurassic Park. That was it. And I mean, as much as I love that trailer scene in The Lost World, I believe it was called, right? Yeah, I think it was. I could have done the rest of that film not existing or being mitigated from existence would have been fine with me. Though I'll tell you though, I can't wait for Scott Derrickson's The Black Phone, just because Ethan Hawke is playing a villain, and I know he's going to do that also in the Marvel series Moon Knight. But one, that's going to be rated TV 14, so restrictions, and they're going one step further with the villainy in The Black Phone, so count me in. And also, hey, nice to have a mask that's actually creepy without being too over the top and stupid. And of course, Illumination continues to haunt me, but thankfully, something will make up for that. Jordan Peele's Nope. Oh man. I'm sick of waiting for films to come out. Can I please get like an early screening of that film, even if it's a rough cut, because I just need more Jordan Peele in my life, man. And also, what's taking Wendell and Wild so long, huh? I get that it's stop motion, but Jesus Christ, how long have you been working on it? How long have those guys been working on it? And however, I cannot wait for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. That's if it's coming out 2022. Because honestly, I would love to see more attempts to do to be more faithful to the darker elements, to the darker origins or darker source material. I mean, there's so much potential there. It'd be cool, and considering it's Guillermo del Toro, this could be extremely imaginative, and and I just need more. And also, stop motion animation is something I would like more in my life. You know. I do fear though if Steven Spielberg's autobiography, The Fablemans, is going to be just reek of self indulgence. Maybe I'm overreacting because he is indeed an expert filmmaker, but there's always that fear, you know, that because when you have, because I mean, one way or another, they might end up kind of reverting to that at some point, right? And does anyone even really think that Avatar 2 is even coming out this year? I mean, seriously, at this point, I'm just gonna say, I'll believe when I see it. That's the only way I'll put it. And of course, that Mario film makes me sad. And I'll tell you right now, I am not seeing Aquaman 2 in the theater, or as Vision knows, Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom. And you know why? That fucking woman. As you even consider her one, Amber Heard at this point just embodies pure evil. Yeah, at least I'm not raging. Oops, sorry. Oh, because the last thing I want to do is ruin this poor Butte's sleep. Oop. Yeah, it would be nice to get more of this off, to get more of these off my list. Well, now that I'm out of college, I'll probably have the chance. But hey, Damien Chazelle's making another film, so count me in, especially with Tobey Maguire acting in it. And boy, am I glad he's getting back into acting after, well, live action at least. We're talking about, I've been zoning out. I can't remember what it was. 2014. Yeah, about 7 years. So now, not only with Babylon, but also an upcoming TV series known as Extrapolations. Just don't know when, of course. And also, I really want to see his directorial debut. I mean, that man defined my childhood more than any other actor, and Sam Raimi defined my childhood more than any other director, and that says a lot considering I love Steven Spielberg, and of course I also grew up with the likes of Pete Docter, Andrew Stanton, John Lasseter, oh boy, and I can't think of anything else. And if you're just counting acting in general, because he also did voice acting in The Boss Baby, yes, the first one. Oh boy, that's 4 years. Whatever. I'm just glad to see him acting again. And yeah, he's been doing. And yeah, he's been offering some pretty solid. He's been like a solid work as producer. Some more than others, but you know, teach their own. Fucking fireworks, man. I just can't stand them. I wouldn't say. Okay, I kind of hate. Well, at least when I'm here, it. I mean, it doesn't really quite piss me off as before. I'll tell you, outside those things sting my. Those things like hurt my ears so much, and it's just not fun. Let's see how Baz Luhrmann's gonna do with that Elvis biopic. I don't know. I mean, I mean, he can be fine. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind. I didn't mind Moulin Rouge, but uh, for me, he's just so overtly stylistic to the point where it starts to hurt my eyes. And I just find it pretty funny how since 2018 they've constantly theaters put paper warnings, like flyer warnings of possible epilepsy. And the fact that even when I saw MLP New Generation on Netflix, they also had they put like a can't remember, like their like their top thirds. They literally had also that they also had a similar warning involving strobing. It just makes me wonder, why the fuck do you put strobing in your films anyway? I mean, it already cuts out a decent amount of your audience by default. And even then, it just fucking hurts. Though, if everyone was asking any kind of strobing or anything like that, not quite. And it didn't even really hurt that much. So, yeah, it wasn't really too big a concern, thankfully. Sadly, I haven't seen all the award contenders yet. I actually missed a chance to see Belfast. Or Belfast? Yeah, Belfast. That sucks, especially because I'm glad to see Black and White is making a comeback. I mean, with the Lighthouse, of course, The Artist, all the way back in 2011. Come on, come on, another A24 film. Let's see, was another. Couldn't think of anything. Or at least, or I mean, Black and White, at least in the United States, because obviously there's a decent amount of that. I mean, let's just be honest. Overseas has far more freedom than we do. I mean, like, even George Lucas, like, he gave, like, an interview discussing, like, how even Soviet filmmakers had more freedom than, like, Americans did at the time. I mean, it's definitely something. Yeah, I didn't get many video games for Christmas, though. I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's not a bad problem, of course. That's totally fine. But, it's just something to point out. Because we actually went to the Grand Canyon. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I highly recommend not doing the Skywalk. Maybe it might impress you, who the hell knows, but for me, it is an overrated, gimmicky travel attraction. It's a marvel of engineering, and they put a lot of work into it, without question. And yeah, it is. It's very durable and safe, scratches on the glass notwithstanding, but otherwise, it is fucking overrated, man. I just, ugh, it's just not even really that cool. And admittedly, I am petrified when I look at like substantial dips off cliffs, which of course what happened when I went to one of the higher reaches of the national park, and yeah, it just set me off in the worst ways. Thankfully, though, um, of course, we did more ground level, or less substantial tours that had less substantial dips. They were kind of like almost like on the grounds, like on the of the park itself, in ways. Or I guess the more of the interior instead of the edges is how I would call it. Like the cliffs being the high cliffs being kind of like the edges of sorts, and kind of like a lower ground being the interior. I'm not an expert at this stuff, okay, guys. I'm not. I mean, it's a miracle I passed geography in high school, but it was fine. Things. I mean, one thing sure though. Here's the thing I would recommend. If you could, if you're able to afford it, I would recommend renting a satellite phone if you're gonna go to Phoenix, Arizona, or any more rural-based area, just in case. Now, I mean, that was mainly fine because I stuck to trails and the more popular tourist trails. I never really went off trail or anything like that because we're not really like that. Also, it's family vacation, so it wasn't really a good incentive. So there was less of an incentive to do that. So, but even so, I'd recommend still playing a satellite phone because my god, there's like no service doesn't fucking exist anywhere. Also, make sure you have some sort of charger, whether a battery case, whether a hand crank charger. because those actually still exist. I might get one just for the sake of a joke, but who the hell knows? Because that's one thing I should definitely be spending my money on. Suppose I wonder what my priorities are these days, but who the hell cares? If I was wondering like the shout like games, yeah, I got like 2 games for Christmas because obviously the main focus was on that vacation, understandably so, and that was fine. I'm not asking for much. Besides, I can take care of it. Besides, I can buy those games myself now, especially if I ever get fucking hired. Yeah. Oh yeah, regarding the G5 film, I did admittedly tear up seeing the main six again. What can I say? I'm a sucker. It's been like, yeah, it's been like this for days. It's annoying. As for the video games, the Shadow of the Colossus remake, though I am gonna try and get the PS3 remaster because I actually do still have my PS3 and it still works. It would be nice though if they had like a separate, if they either restored the PS3, PS Vita section of the PlayStation Store website, or made a separate one, or just something, you know? Because this is just because it's far more efficient to navigate that than it ever has been on the PS3, and that just sucks, you know? Really, really sucks. Also, another thing that pissed me off about the G5 film, I hate that they condensed most of the songs, even if it wasn't so substantial. Because honestly, by having them be the full versions animated, I think it would have helped out with the pacing issues. Even made it feel like what, like an hour 36, hour 38. I don't care. It would have helped out with it would have helped with the pacing. It wouldn't have fixed it entirely, of course, but it would have helped. But it would have lessened the blow a bit. Especially pissed me off because the worst offender of that when it comes to being condensed was Fit Right In, because they have because the rap section, which was not only very funny but actually really good. It was like genuinely fantastic. They cut out the section. We'll make a phony protrusion to make a bony illusion. It's not the perfect solution, but the world's not big on inclusion. That is some amazing wordplay. I wish they kept that in. It would have been great. Although I am relieved that G4's art style does translate well to 3D. Though it makes me wonder, what are they going to do with the TV series and the web content? Okay, maybe I have heard the web content is going to be 2D, and I know, of course, that characters are usually that before being transferred over to 3D, they are usually designed in 2D. So maybe it will turn out just fine, but it is going to be kind of jarring, and or more jarring than the main six being transferred over, being translated uh, from Flash to Toon Boom for the G4 film. Admittedly, it doesn't bother me that much. It never really, I actually didn't mind it that much, and honestly, I've grown on it. It's grown on me, though I would like to find some way to legally watch the Rainbow Road Trip special, but unfortunately, it was taken off of Netflix some time ago, and I can't find it anywhere else. I would just like to watch it legally, you know? Whether I rent it digitally, buy it digitally, I don't care. I just want to be able to watch it legally because, well, for one, I'm getting tired of piracy, you know? But there's always this problem with digital distribution. They always screw it up one way or another. I don't understand. It's like, do these guys not get that the reason piracy happens is because of the lacking aspects of your service? Provide a better service or provide better distribution deals. I mean, come on. I know there's a lot more complicated stuff behind this, but for crying out loud, is it too much to ask for some help or to shove your greed up your ass? But hey, man, I couldn't be any more relieved that unions are making a comeback. And they seem to be the grassroots savior of this day, which is awesome. But I'm just glad to see unions coming back. Though we don't, and hopefully we're setting the stage for getting closer to the economic gold haven of the 1950s and 60s. But this time, every race, nationality, sexuality, etc., is involved and not just whites. Mm. I do have a lot of frustrations, but I'm not quite giving up hope yet, especially with stuff like that. There is still a lot of work to do, and stuff like that infrastructure bill, at best, is putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound. It's not enough. It would be nice if they took it one step further, but we'll see what happens. But hopefully this is the start of something of somewhat improvements. Oh and yeah, Biden's also lame as president. He's just, I mean, I'm not surprised it's how he's been performing. I mean, it's kind of what I was expected at this point. A milk toast moderate, if not just a glorified right winger. A man that speaks populist but barely acts it. Not as substantial not to the same substantial degree as Trump, but it's still noticeable. Once again, just another case of not doing as they say. Classic, huh? Politics. Anyone think that we need to start experimenting with consensus democracy like they do in the Canadian territory Nunavut? Because I don't think we're gonna. Because I guess it's too ambitious to go try and experiment with direct democracy. So how about we start with consensus democracy and then transition to direct democracy? That'd be nice. Or consensus government and then direct government. Get the idea up, but you can probably fill in the gaps for yourself. Fucking fireworks. I actually usually go at around nightfall, around mid to late evening, around like mid evening. I actually go on a walk. Sometimes, yeah, I do go on a walk either with the dog Shay or by myself. And god damn those things, and being outside because I just really wanted to get some steps in, but also because I just really want to get out of the house once in a while. Motherfucker, those things are loud. Seriously, I mean, I'd rather hear a plane take off from an airport at ground level than listen to that constant barrage of fireworks. Because it's just so damn annoying. I think also it's because the noises from the fireworks are very staccato, I guess you would call it. Kind of like begins as quickly as it ends as quickly as it begins, and airplanes, yeah, it's sustained, but it's not as, I guess because it's not as sudden, it just doesn't hurt that much. See what happens. So I was asking if I saw Eternals. Yes, and no, I wasn't a fan. Aesthetically, it's among the best, mostly because I am a sucker for natural lighting, among other things. But unfortunately, it was also just a narrative mess, just too compacted, and it probably would have been better off as a miniseries. If they wanted to make a film, okay, you can make a film after you make like a miniseries that sets them up. Sorry, hold on, the dog's having some problems. Shay, doing all right? Yeah, just I wanted to give it at least to think that maybe there was some level of overt, like some overreaction to the reception, but no, it wasn't awful. I've seen far worse, but damn it, so close yet so far. Some great ideas, some gorgeous visuals, and everything else between, but it's so saddled with characters, plot elements, and just nothing has time to breathe. It just constantly moves. And it's exhausting. And nothing really has time to sit or really, like, that's the right term. Display itself? I don't know. I can't really think of the right term. But a big problem is it just, nothing is really allowed to sit. It's constantly moving, and it's just a mess. Just a mess. So far, yeah, it's one of my least favorite MCU films to date, and it says a lot considering I'm actually not a big fan of Far From Home. That's another one I'm not a big fan of. Then again, I do a bit of a person, though admittedly I am a bit more personally hostile towards the MCU Spider-Man films because of how limited they are. So they just don't, how they kind of hold themselves back a bit on the tragic element of the character, which I wasn't really a fan of because Peter Parker is a tragic character, not a comedic character, and No Way Home seems to allow that part to allows for that to be finally showcased, but it's kind of a case of a little too late for me at this point. I mean, they pulled it off well enough, but it's just missed opportunities, you know. That probably gave me an idea for another fan fiction. maybe that's what my career is actually going to be about primarily, fan fiction. The My Little Pony fan fiction that I've been developing in my head for over like 2 to 3.5 years. The Next Generation film gave me yet another idea for that, and probably something else. And I guess now this. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not against fan fiction, of course, but to prosper off that is financially sustain yourself on that is easier said than done, of course. Because we'll see. But yeah, as for current plans, well, of course, getting hired for any kind of job, making some money on the side, and the plan is to move to Austin within 3 to 5 years, and if not Austin, then Dallas, and then San Antonio. I mean, I could move to LA, but the living costs and the wildfires are still invading, so no thank you. Yeah. And even then, of course, also I'd rather try to at least get there before the Silicon Valley does, right? Then again, I could try and build the film scene in one of the lesser populated states. But I'm not even really a leader. I mean, I'm socially awkward. Damn it, not that good. At least yet. How's the year been for you guys? For me at this point, it's just routine. It's not even really much to write home about anymore. Besides, of course, what I mentioned, like, of course, with finally realizing that I am a democratic eco-socialist, and those parties I respect and follow. Part does wonder, though, if there is a chance of reviving the progressive or more liberal Republicans. I mean, we have libertarians, we have the far right, the Trumpists. We also have ourselves the moderates, but we don't have any liberals or progressives. They used to exist at one point. I mean, they were most famously known as they used to be They used to be they used to be called the Rockefeller Republicans. Be nice to have a spiritual successor to that. It does suck that I have to wait at least 1.5 more years for the Spider-Man 2 game. But I have to say, Tony Todd is Venom, awesome choice. And also, Harry Osborn's gonna be Venom this time. Though if they end up kind of backtracking on that, I will get pissed. There's way too much potential with Harry Osborn as Venom. Please go forward with that. If you want to have Eddie Brock as Venom, do that in a later game or after Harry's tenure. Not that much. Is that too much to ask for? And I just don't get this obsession with Venom. I really don't. I mean, I love the concept of Venom, but Eddie Brock, the original host, at least his original incarnation, is basically a high school jock in an adult's body. Or, if that doesn't really click well with you, a dude, bro. Yeah, that's fucking lame. Well, speaking of Todd McFarlane, at least we're getting to see Keith David back as a Spawn, with Spawn in a new HBO series. Count me in. Though, is he ever going to get that Spawn film off the ground? And even then, at this point, is it worth it? I mean, the guy's been developing it for what, like almost over half a decade now. I'm surprised it hasn't been canceled at this point. And doing it under Blumhouse, I mean, is there enough budget to work around that? Especially with the cape? Or is he going to use like a mix of practical and CG capes? That'd probably be the best way to do it, actually. I mean, who the hell knows? Let's see, I'm trying to... the most recent news that I could find is back in August when they had somebody else rewriting a script, which is a thank God at this point. But there's just like no movement, like no substantial traction or momentum. Oh shit, he's been going back all the way since like 2009. So even longer than this. Even with like Blumhouse, and Blumhouse got involved like back in 2017. So it's just a constant mess of shit. See what happens. But at this point, I'll believe it when I see it. As for any specific New Year's goals or resolutions, well, I've heard it's not a good idea to even publicly announce them, so sorry about that. So it isn't a very good idea. But even so, I don't currently have any. What about you guys? If, of course, you want to make them public. That's if anybody's even watching, of course. Maybe I should cut that contract. Or gut it. Just waiting for that mass unleash or tirade of fireworks. Hasn't happened yet. Disdain for the original version of Venom aside, there are good iterations. I liked the one in the Ultimate Spider-Man video game, and the best one, without question, is Spectacular Spider-Man. I mean, I do like the idea of him and Eddie being friends. I think that's a good idea. And, of course, the mutual connection, and, of course, even mutual connection at the death of their parents, which I think is like I said, great idea. It's not a requirement, of course, but I think it does help add a greater level of
tension, I guess, to their dynamic. Well, just true though, I definitely gotta get a Blu-ray or DVD of the Spectacular Spider-Man series and watch that. I really missed out. So damn indebted to Tobey Maguire that basically he was the only Spider-Man that existed to me. And of course, any of the Spider-Man games that I played, whether it be, of course, the Raimi tie-in games, Ultimate Spider-Man. What was another one I played? Did I play another one? I think that was it. Oh no, Friend or Foe. Oh boy. Oh well. About like 2 minutes left before the new year kicks in, right? I have thought of doing some side ventures like freelancing, but of course the opportunities aren't always there yet, or some require substantial traveling outside the state, so that's gonna have to wait at best, or never happen at all. But we'll see. And of course, gotta focus on participating in submitting some scripts and some screenplay contests, and even that 48-hour film contest. But I probably have to wait until like fall. I hope not. Yeah. I really hope that the mass unleash of the fireworks doesn't wake up Shay. She's so she's so sweet and at rest. Oh, you pretty girl. Such a beaut. Oh, and yeah, man, does this girl just loves to be in my room now ever since I came home. I mean, she's not sleeping with me. She's not sleeping alongside me. She's sleeping alongside my parents. And even then, I'm the only one taking her out on walks because my parents just don't really do that. They really just keep to themselves. Poor thing. 10 seconds left. Two. Happy New Year! And there we go, the massive onslaught. Even my neighbors are shouting. I guess the sound suppression is good enough for Shay, which says a lot considering how dogs' hearing is. Oh boy. Well, the new year is here. And while of course, Betty White's tragic passing is still fresh in my mind. Hopefully, hopefully a brighter future lies ahead of us, or at least a less shitty one. Not just compared to 2020, but just in general. I just be nice to keep that optimism around for once in a while, right? Or just actually have it as an adult, right? We need a spiritual successor to Fred Rogers. If Tom Hanks doesn't count, then I don't know who does, if any. Well, got some Parade of Slaughter and Bloodborne. And also, of course, wait for this mass battalion of insanity to stop. Is it still going? Doing all right, Shay. Is this ever gonna stop? At this point, I'm just waiting for the cops. Well, what I can say is this. Hopefully, New Year's Eve is good. was good. Celebration was good for you. Hopefully, New Year's Day is. Hopefully, New Year's Day will be the same or similar. Um, for anyone who actually just, thank you guys for dealing with this live stream and my still like amateur skills at this. Maybe there is a reason why I did edited videos. I edited videos now. Oh my god. It's still going. I'm gonna give it 2 more minutes, and if it doesn't, and if nothing happens, and if it just continues, I'm just going to just end it there. I'm crying out loud. How many fireworks did these people buy? I know it's multitude people, but Jesus, how much do they spend on this crap? Even then, here's a hot take. Those drone light displays are far cooler than fireworks. I also found a new process of how I would like making videos, at least like ones that don't involve an extensive script or basically a short film, and that is making an outline. I actually write it on paper because I actually kind of prefer that. Works for me well enough. Turn off this light. Yeah, that's better. Parents, I guess, already went to bed. The only one up as usual. Unless they're watching TV in their room. Wow, this is ridiculous. Yeah, it's not gonna stop. The next, maybe 5 minutes. Well, with that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in, dealing with this overlong escapade, and for some reason annual, even though it's not really that popular, but to each their own. Thank you for joining me today. Hope your celebration was satisfying enough. Hope the rest of the day is good for you. Thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, see you.